All right, brothers, my dudes. Man, Steve. We got just yesterday. Brandon, Garrett, Todd, Seelau, Ray and McDonald, a couple others. I wanted to just really quickly give you guys an update and let you know I will be onboarding you over these next couple days. Here, let me share. Okay, this is our new workplace platform. It's actually something I've had for several years. I'm just going to be making some minor changes to kind of cater and onboard you guys properly and get the whole onboarding process sort of sorted out in the next week. Um, but before we get there, Um, I will. So I'm on the phone with you, Steve, tomorrow morning, waiting for response from Ray on issue he had signing up with whatever his payment details or something. The rest of you guys look good to go so far, although I will follow up individually with each one of you just to get your details and get you plugged into this software. So, but anyone else who hasn't joined us, I mean, here it is. If you were in the shelter, then you know exactly how this works. And what I would love to do to begin with, at least for a period of time, if this appeals to you guys, like I would love, I'll be sharing all of my starting from ground zero. I think I'm going to go back and I'll share all of my Wake Up Warrior Challenge, like debrief videos. It's just like the experiences I had going through some of those early challenges, at least for me, that was such a pivotal transformational period in my life, that set me on a new trajectory. So I want to go back and really mine the gold and share my experience and the biggest revelations and lessons I got. And then I would really, really encourage you guys, and it would be an honor to have your help sharing your kind of milestones, in that process, both going through the challenge and the four summits content, and just start to build a habit, a pattern of sharing in the workplace, similar to how many of us used to do with the Shelter and Shield network. I think I love the Warrior app, and all of us here in this group use it. It's something I am going to be bundling and incorporating for future people who join us. So we're definitely going to continue using it. But I also just, to be frank, I feel like the tribe section. I mean, it serves a great purpose, but it also has some serious limitations. I hate the chats. So anyhow, this is going to give you a dedicated work chat. You'll have two apps on your phone. If any of you are not familiar with how this used to work with the shelter, one is a private, secure, so premium social network. It's very much just like Facebook. Here it is now. You're looking at it, but there's no advertisers, no ads. Even I can't like data mine the back end. I can't see your private messages you send to other people. So there's not that like algorithm working where it's just based on getting information out of you and pitching you products. It's we own this, and it's private and data secure. The other app is the private work chat, so that's a secure chat channel where you guys can always reach me. So let me think. So anyway, but yeah, I really want to encourage, and I hope to have some of you warrior brothers and maybe a couple sisters in the near future. I kind of want to open this up for them as well. But let's just build momentum and traction, sharing our homework, our debriefs, and go live in the group if it makes sense, or share your videos from the work you've done so far. But feel free to just dump that stuff in here. Share your biggest lessons from your stack or whatever makes sense, so that we can start to create. I like to think of it as like you're leaving mile markers on the trail, right? And you know how sometimes people stack stones? It's like leave a stone. If you do the work, if you're going through the armory, if you're, even if it's at a slow pace or you feel you haven't made a lot of progress, if it's just a few benchmarks, but whatever you've done, take those lessons, take your insights, and bring it to the table and share here, so that others might find their flash of revelation from what you've discovered as well. So I consider, like, add your stone to the stone pile, so we kind of leave a series of markers for other brothers and sisters who may come following in our footsteps in the future. I am also, if you guys are going to make the commitment to show up and contribute, I plan to start doing a weekly call again, and I think I'll probably broadcast that here in the Warrior Acceleration group within Facebook for the coming few weeks. But if you guys want to participate, that's going to be something for those of you that are, you know, um, contributing to my project and signed up for the Foundry. In the meantime, just FYI to those of you, so Steve, Stephen, Lachlan, Brandon, Todd, Ray, and anyone else I missed, I will go ahead over these next, probably tonight, you may see an invite. I'm going to invite you to this Facebook group in the meantime until I get that whole onboarding process set up, just so you don't feel like you've been left in the cold. This is it's basically where I have been developing tons of stuff. It's all the behind the scenes with me and my team, my wife and our team in the Philippines. And so there's a lot of trainings I've already created in here. A lot of it's geared towards our visa team, but there's a lot of gold in here. And there's stuff I've been reverse engineering, like funnel breakdowns, sharing a lot of the events and trainings I've participated in. So I was just sharing with Steven the other day, like in the guides here. Yeah, guide 2 and 3, I think we've been step by step going through basically the One Funnel Away challenge, which is the old, like, 30-part training from ClickFunnels, which is just really, it's a great roadmap, I think, for just about anybody. It might not make sense for you to go all the way through to the end, but like at least get started. That roadmap, you follow along, you're gonna discover so much about, well, building sales funnels, but also just business in general, like how to build your brand, how to create your social media presence, and how to market and sell online. So there's a lot of great, valuable stuff in here. And those of you who've signed up, I'm going to put you in there. So you'll probably see a group invite very soon. Feel free to utilize that if it makes sense. Anyone else who hasn't joined us, who am I? Well, here's my warrior bona fides. I've been involved to some degree since 2017, late 2017. I got it was the Black Book before it became rebranded as the Warrior Book. I did the King's Kit Challenge in June 2018. I'm pretty sure, yeah. And so that was a 30-day challenge, which that was the start of like the real transformation. I'd love to share some of what I experienced during that with you guys. Done the Be the Man challenge. I think I climbed 3 mountains as part of my self-directed challenge. And so I'd love to, any of you who haven't seen mine, I'd love to share some of that as well. I was in the Creator Challenge, like New Year's 2021, and that led into, I was in the shelter for 2 years, and then towards the very end, jumped into Shield. I was part of Wake Up Warrior Challenge 6. I contributed like 50 stacks, I think, and we went so deep. This was actually what really sealed the deal for me, and I still hope that this Kingdom box comes out. But Garrett put together a project with about 25 or 30 of us contributing, where we went through chapter by chapter, and we were kind of just like looking for the connections between the warrior system and biblical teachings. And that was right at the start of where Garrett started to come out about his faith. And you see what direction he's going now. But I've got just so much gold, basically in my personal Bible studies and relating that to the warrior's journey. And I will I haven't published them anywhere other than inside the Stack app, I guess the tribe for a couple people if they anyway. But I'll probably share those if you guys are interested as well. Every Man and Leader, which was a process I went through with Coach Sam. I was part of Power Room 6 under Coach Brandon, and I guess that was last year. Man, it feels so long ago, but anyhow, just recently finally got Hero Warrior Trainer certified officially. And if you guys pop onto this page, I've got a couple video examples of just some of the training. This is actually stuff I did back before joining the Brotherhood, my Hero's Journey training. This is really valuable. I think my presentation of this, I know for a fact, like when I look at it again soon to review, it's going to disgust me, but it's pretty good. But the framework is what I think would be valuable to all of you if you're unfamiliar with the hero's journey or the monomyth framework. And then this was with the help of my brother Steve Chu, and I think Brandon and a couple others were on there. Just an example of what we've been doing on and off over the last year, facilitating great conversations with warrior brothers. And this, just giving you guys some idea of what I hope to keep going with your help and participation. A few of my frameworks in here, but this is the meat. We're going to be starting with sharing this journey, working through the 4 summits content. So everyone who's gotten this invitation, you guys are already in Warrior, which is why, this is, I have poured 16 years and God knows how much in all, but into Warrior specifically, it's almost, I've probably put in almost $25,000 to get as far as I have working with Garrett and everything I've been involved in. So, I put out an invitation because I really just, this, whatever this is, this school, this startup incubator program is something I've been building towards for 16 years. And then when I encountered Warrior, I kind of put it all on the back burner because Garrett proved to me that I had no fucking idea what I was doing. And I was shit at my job, and I had a lot of work to do and training to go through. But I have been working with Warrior for over 3 years. I have my trainer certification, soon to be 2-star certification, etc. But I want to share this journey together with you guys and others. So we will start by sharing our progress up these 4 summits. My goal is really to focus on Summit 4, which is the Warrior Wealth Library, and get us actively moving through the stages of Warrior Wealth teachings, building your offer, getting a sales page up and out into the world, learning how to market, and spread your message, getting better at strategic sales and seduction, all those sorts of things. But I just encourage you guys, let's use this as a place to really go deep and share everything we're learning, the struggles, ask questions, share our examples, and create a workspace, a classroom, a laboratory to experiment and try building things and fucking fail and get up and dust ourselves off and have the encouragement of a few other brothers and then figure out what works. And that's what I've been doing for years. I mean, this is a group I had back in Thailand a couple of years back. So anyhow, you've got the link, and would love to have any of you guys join us. The price that I put on there is really a commitment for you so that I know you've made an investment and you're committed to being a part of this. And so that you know that you've put a little bit on the line, a little bit of money where your mouth is, so that you will, I hope, show up and actually take this seriously and participate. But $300 isn't going to fucking change my life, guys, at all. So I'm leaving it out there for a very short time because I really would be honored and very grateful to have you guys, the men of Warrior, who I know like you have the shared values, like tell the fucking truth, and we're all we all have a shared understanding of like this journey we're working towards expansion, bigger results in our life. So I really do appreciate having all you guys along for the ride, just to kind of develop a great learning environment and encourage each other, with these mindsets and skill sets. In the future, in the very near future, though, just so you're aware, those prices are going to skyrocket because, yeah, when I start actually bundling this with Warrior app and all of that stuff, and I'll be putting out offers to a very different market, not to Warrior people. I'm not trying to make money off of Warrior or poach people out of Warrior, but I want to invite you guys if you'd like to be part of this. I think I have had my fucking doubts, guys. Believe me, many a time. I almost gave up on this. Who knows? Countless times. But God keeps bringing me back, and He's moving the chess pieces behind the scenes. And this is my purpose. So I invite you, if you'd like to see behind the scenes of, the visa business and consulting agency we've already got, our team we've been gradually building up in the Philippines. I'm going to share how I built my first membership site, training digital nomads for a long time. I'm going to share, how I've done events. I mean, I've put on, I can't recall how many, 7, 8 retreats. I've put on lots of workshops. I've put on three conferences. So I'm just gonna. This is gonna be the place where I bear all. With the tools of Warrior and the training I've done, like I am gonna bear all. I'm gonna share like the pain, the trauma, how I quit smoking, all of it. but I want to, share this growth journey and see what we can build together. So before I go on and on, I'm very grateful for all those of you who have raised your hand and said, yes, you want to join me. Like Steve Chu, man, I really appreciate your commitment. Brandon, you brought a lot. Ray, I'm excited to reconnect with you. It's been a little while. Steven, I know you're right on. You seem to be narrowing down on very similar things, so I'd be excited to get you more involved. Samuel, sorry, I didn't notice the comments. You thought I was in the Philippines. Until we left. I moved my family back to the Philippines in what was it? November 2018, and then 2020. It took me about a year. I was doing my homework, getting the lay of the land. So we were living on Bohol, and Bohol is about the size of Hawaii, the big island, and then like right next to it, kind of attached by 2 bridges, is a little tiny island called Panglao. So we lived on Panglao, and on Panglao is where there's all the 4-star, and I don't even know if there's 5-star resorts, but there's a couple very high-end resorts. So it was a huge destination island. It was getting over 1 million tourists a year. And when we moved there, actually the first time I visited there, 2012, like you had to take a boat to even get there, but still it was getting all this traffic, right? 2019, they opened their first international airport. I mean, basically for the first time, flights were coming in and out of there, whereas before you had to like fly to Cebu and then take a boat trip to get there. So, we were there just at this time when it was really opening up, and especially China has a huge influx of tourism. And I was doing my homework and finally decided to double down and like build my first brick and mortar business. Everything I've done since 2006 is all virtual, but I opened a small little office there with the idea to attract my audience of nomads and business travelers out there for events and trainings. And it took me 4 months to negotiate the space, and like we started to refurbish it a bit. I mean, nothing to write home about. It was like virtually a shack, but but it was ours, and we had our first three visitors, first three customers come to this little co-working little boutique spot, and then like within 2 weeks, COVID happened, and they claimed they were going to shut down for 5 days. I said to my wife right away, I was like, "Yeah, right. Once they have us in our little chicken coops, we're done for. It's gonna. They may never let us out." She said, "You're paranoid." I said, "Watch." And then we were stuck for 2 fucking years. They shot themselves in the foot. Tourism died. There was nothing. So anyway, so there was that, and then we couldn't fly because I refused the vaccination. But finally, they were putting so much pressure on. They were talking about rolling out, you know, mandate, whatever, forced vaccination program even for the kids. And they relaxed the travel rules, so we were finally able to leave with all the tests and stuff. And then also we got slammed with Typhoon Odette, which actually flooded my office, swept away half my library. Like the front, we had floor to ceiling glass, and it all got shattered. Anyhow, it was like that 1-2 punch of COVID shutting down tourism, and then just at the end of 2021, yeah, it was the island had no power for 2.5 months. Thankfully, I had friends with the right people and the resources we put our family in a pretty nice hotel for 2 months, and while everyone was kind of fighting to survive, it was not a fun time. But I took that as a sign from God at the time. He sent his great flood, and I thought he swept away what I'd been building there for 3 years. So all these different circumstances. And my wife said, we got to get out of here while we can before they roll out this vaccination program. So we came back. I'm from Northern California originally. My family's there. So we came back to Cali back in February 2023, last year. And then it took me a little while, but I relocated us out. We're on the East Coast. We're currently in North Carolina, close to Greensboro. If anyone's out here, let me know. But I've shared with some of you guys on the Warrior Calls. Like, funny, it's like that was my impossible game last year. Rolling from early. Yeah, I guess it was last year. It's funny, it feels so long now. I feel like it's been 5 fucking years. But yeah, last year's impossible game was to, relocate my family and get, firm foundations, like secure the kingdom in America, which thanks to the protocols, I think I slaughtered that. Like, here we are, we're doing pretty darn good here. But business is booming back in the Philippines, and it was actually like last November. I think we've got 5 or 6 award recognitions now for our visa agency, which is based there. Our team is there. So, this year we've been working hard just to like manage and collaborate with the team remotely. So anyhow, she has wanted to go back and open a new office in Cebu City for since November. And I was pissed at first because I felt like the Queen was abandoning our mission, which I always said for 16 years, I said, I don't think I ever want to move back to the US, especially at first when we were living on this tropical paradise island. But anyhow, things have shifted. God is working, and it makes sense. So my wife is returning later this month. She'll be going back to work on establishing a new office in the Philippines. We're putting our son back in private school out there, but I'm going to hang around here for now. Probably for 3-4 months. We'll see. I'm committed to completing the launch program requirements and getting out to Dana Point and actually meet the madman Garrett himself in person. And I'm enrolled in trainer now. Like, I'm in the monthly mentorship program as well with him. So kind of see where that goes. But I've got a lot of stuff to work on and complete here. And so for a little time, we're going to, do our own thing. And then I plan to probably go back out there to Asia I hope by the holidays. So I will be going back out. I'm gonna actually go to Thailand first for a little while. Don't tell too many people. Have some time catching up with old event partners in Krabi because we plan to do a team retreat in Thailand for March. So I have so many things going on. I'll do another live later this week and actually share the big vision, and what direction we're going with the HERO Foundry and like events and stuff. But one of the reasons why I was dedicated to this trainer program, I'm going to utilize Garrett's fact map process and frameworks, and we'll probably be doing that with our team on at least a quarterly basis. But I want to make a big milestone event. It's been several years with COVID, but I used to have these events, especially in Thailand. I've done them in, well, 3 continents, but Thailand's my favorite. So I got to go get my ass out there and reconnect with old partners and do what needs doing to make sure that we can have a what's the word, a flagship event, I guess, in next spring. So I will be back in the Philippines at some point, this winter or next spring. But yeah, what happened with the Kingdom Box? I wonder that too. As far as I know, it's kind of, I guess it's on the back burner. I think I heard Garrett mention it once recently. There was the pivot protocol, and then there was method, and then there was trainer. There's like been a lot of different things. I'm not sure where he shared, but I know it came up in conversation, and it sounded like he is still aiming to, reproduce the book series. But rather than waiting, I decided I'm just going to start publishing my writings, because I wrote enough that's a standalone book on its own. You contributed to that too, right, Samuel? You probably have a book as well. So, and I think with Kingdom Teams, that plugs right into what you're doing. We need to get you in the HERO Foundry, man. If you can afford it, I'd love to have you join us. And yeah, I think you should get in there this week. But either way, so another quick thought for all you guys. Let me see, where is that? Another thing we got going on. I have this huge fucking group, Jordan Peterson, around the biblical series. It started back in 2018 with his Genesis series, which that changed my life too. I used to host like weekly gatherings. We'd do dinner and a movie, only the movie was we would watch Jordan Peterson lectures like nerds, and then just geek out on it and talk afterwards. This was in person in Chiang Mai, Thailand. It was 2015, wasn't it? So anyway, then now they're putting out the Exodus series, freely available publicly on YouTube. So I'm restreaming those. Samuel J. Sneed, our brother, has been holding the line, holding the space, joining me, bringing a lot to the table as we kind of discuss and share our insights, watching these. So every Sunday, if it interests you guys, I mean, this is a colossal group with lots of things, but I'm really trying to keep a consistent routine of like always pointing people back to the biblical series and, see what we can distill from that. And I also am trying to introduce Discover Stacks with this audience to see if we can distill the best revelation for everyone. So that's for free. If you guys are interested in that, hit me up, let me know, or I'll drop the link. But yeah, if you guys want to join us on Sundays, that's kind of like my church. So I didn't start it. No, Samuel, I joined it as an admin in 2018. This guy named Ben started it, and then they just kind of disappeared. I don't know if he even is on Facebook very much, but I have been holding down the fort since 2020. And then it was last year, it just started exploding suddenly. Thousands of people, thousands a day for a while. Like there was a couple months where way back in the day when it started, it was, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4,000 people, and then, yeah, last year it exploded to almost, well, 37, 38,000. So we're headed to 40,000 soon. There is a lot of potential. That's why I need your help, man. But come join me in my little classroom, and let's really dig into how do we serve people and point them to God, and also carve a coaching business for yourself and for me. I think I used to think that's a weird fucking thing to say, but now after having done Warrior for so long, one of the biggest breakthroughs I think for me was the realization suddenly that like my being and my business do not have to be what do they call that, mutually exclusive. It doesn't have to be that way. There can be some overlap, or I can do business that is focused on spirituality. So I'm still figuring out how to do that, but that's kind of the direction I guess I'm being led. But yeah, I guess it's like it seems like God was growing that. There's a need for this conversation, and I'm also really grateful that Peterson's finally. He went through at least a year. I think it was 2 years. He was almost off the radar in Russia. Like he was in bad shape for a little while, but can't blame him. I was there myself, but I'm glad he's back because we need him. Anyways, I'll wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your questions, guys. Yeah, I will probably do a little bit more structured presentation later this week to share my vision and targets with you guys. Kind of my impossible game. What my plans are with the Hero Foundry. But I just wanted to share this, let you guys know. Like Ray, don't worry, we're gonna sort you out. Steve, I'll see you tomorrow for a one-on-one, and all you guys, Brandon, Todd, the rest of you, I will be getting you onboarded over these next couple days. Just give me a little, be patient so I can figure out the payments and get you guys signed up for like email update, all the little details, right? But yeah. All right, guys. Samuel, thanks, brother. Hope to connect with you very soon. This week is freaking crazy, but stay in the fight. And I'm really looking for men of integrity and kings, fellow kings. You may not be you may not financially feel like a king materially, but I'm looking for spiritual kings to build real deep alliances with, and like let's point people towards the kingdom, whatever that is for them, while also building the kingdom for us, for our families, for our communities. So that's what I'm trying to get going. So just grateful to have all you guys involved. Thank you. And look forward to seeing you again in the next few days.